Well, thank you very much for having me join you in this discussion. The India growth story, I think, is based on facts which are out in the public domain. We are a population of 1.4 billion people. Our demand for energy is growing at 3 times the pace of the global increase in demand. We are currently consuming 5.4 million barrels of crude oil per day. 67 million people go to the retail outlets to fill up on different forms of energy every day. We have made a strong, unambiguous commitment to green energy. We are doing 15.9% of biofuel blending. We have to achieve the target of 20% biofuel blending by 2025 October. We are committed to ensuring that there is both availability, affordability, and sustainability. How do we plan to meet this growth, this demand increase? First of all, how much is it going to be? I can only quote to you the figures of outside agencies which say that in the next 2 decades, 25% of the increase in demand will come from India. Now, clearly, even as we are committed to making the transition, we are very realistic to find that we are going to require continued use of traditional fossil fuels for quite some time to come. Our collaboration with all friendly countries, particularly the UAE, other countries in the region, countries around the world, we don't think there is a shortage of energy. There are some production cuts, there are some supply management issues, but we are reasonably confident that in the coming decade, all these issues will have to be addressed by us on a daily and continuous basis. That is, ensuring that there is never any shortfall in energy, that the energy is supplied to our consumers at reasonable, affordable rates, and that we continue to step on the gas for green transition. Well, I don't normally, as the line minister, comment on individual transactions. I can share with you what my concerns are. We have taken a decision quite some time ago to raise the share of gas, LNG, in our energy mix from 6% to 15%. In the last few years, because gas prices were high, we were not able to meet our targets that easily. We are, I think, at 8% plus, but I think we'll take it up to 11, 12%. When prices become reasonable, and I think they will, in the coming 2 years or so, the availability of gas in the global market will be much more, and availability also determines the price. So I think that will happen. We expect also a investment of 60 billion to take it to that stage. 50% of our LNG requirement is met through imports. In the case of fossil fuel, it's very much more. It's 85% or more in terms of our import dependence. We need to be able to play on multiple fronts. The ADNOC deal is one thing. We also have deals with other suppliers. We have an existing contract with a country which goes out in 2028. We've signed for another 20 years after that. But I'm confident that with more gas being available in the world, friendly countries wanting to collaborate and participate in the India growth story, there's not going to be any shortage of oil or gas. That we have to get the terms right. We have to make sure that all these commercial arrangements are stable and predictable. I can't answer that question because this is a very complex situation. In my own, amongst my own oil marketing companies, I have 2 companies which are not particularly happy if the oil price goes down because they are producers and then they refine and sell to the outside world. But there are others, and there are by and large who will say, well, we are very happy if it is 70 and not 80. So I won't get into that discussion. All I would say is that I don't belong to the category, obviously, as a country which is dependent on imports over 85%, I would want affordable oil prices. But equally, I am sensitive to the fact that if your price goes to a point where the producer loses interest, but I think we are very far from that. You know, if you take the price at which the commodity is accessed and the price at which it is sold in the market, even before it is refined, I think there's a big markup there. And I think we are far from that. What happened, unfortunately, is that many years ago, they said that we should move from fossil fuels to green energy, as a result of which a narrative built up, not realizing that even if you want to make the transition and if you want to succeed in making the transition, you have to survive the present and move from the present fossil fuel base. So, look, I am very proud. I represent a country, thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister, which has met its Paris commitments on climate. Not many countries have. My companies all have net zero targets, and some of them at 2038, some 2040, 2025. They will move in that direction. But the large economy, fuel is the, energy is the lifeline of the economy. And if there's no availability of fuel, or if there are zigzags or disruption, it's going to complicate matters for everyone.